Joseph Mayernick, the man who helped create and was the face of Growth Partnership for Ashtabula County for nearly 20 years, is remembered for his ability to get people together, solve problems, and close deals. The 64-year-old Mayernick died March 20th, 2014, at age 64 after battling cancer for 20 months. Those who worked with him comment on his legacy.
Right from the beginning, it was obvious that Joe had passion for the work. It was not fake, it was not just for public consumption. He really believed in what he was doing and really believed in the Growth Partnership and the people in Ashtabula County. In fact, he was on occasions very tiring when it came to working on projects because he had a difficult time understanding why the folks he was working with weren't more enthusiastic about what it could mean for the county. But that's probably the best word to describe Joe and his work was passion. We had several projects where it looked like it was not going to be, but Joe never gave up. He was a realist. He understood that we weren't going to win all of the projects that we were engaged in, but he fought just as hard for small projects and large projects. And I think that carried over to his staff and the people that worked around him. So.
Well, I first met Joe Mayernick when I was a Saybrook Township trustee, and we worked on some projects like, for instance, the International Paper, then Mohawk, Plas Pro, Composites. We even had a small, although we didn't do anything for them, but the short-run machine shop that's out there in the Industrial Parkway. And I always found Joe to be, you may not always liked what he said, but I always found him to be straightforward. He always got the job done. He collected the people that needed to be for whatever project and got you in one room. And if somebody had a disagreement that they felt it shouldn't go forward or whatever, he got it, and you got it ironed out then and there. And I think that's why Joe made such at that point in time in the 90s, he made such a huge impact on the economic growth of Ashtabula County. Because whatever you do, and I don't care what township it is, it benefits the whole county of Ashtabula. And that's what I admired most about Joe. I didn't always like the things that he did, maybe in a different way or whatever, but I did respect him because when there was a job to get done, he had the contacts, he knew people in the state. He got his way in, no matter what political party was there, Joe knew people, and I think they all respected Joe, and he did get the job done. So I enjoyed my time when I was a trustee working with him. I learned a lot from Joe. And when I came to the county, I think Joe was kind of like on his way out. He felt that, you know, sometimes when you're in a job for so many years, you feel like you're looking for other things or whatever. And I don't know if Joe was or not, but I know that Joe worked with Ed Dunlap, who has invested a large amount of money in Ashtabula County. And that's what I'm saying. When those types of people respect you, you can go to them for whatever you feel that needs to be done in Ashtabula County, and you can work with them, and they'll invest more money. So that's what I think Joe Mayernick did a lot for the economic growth in Ashtabula County.
I knew Joe just briefly, really, as a council president. We didn't have a lot of interaction, but while I was on leadership Ashtabula County, I met Joe, and he spoke to us about exactly what Growth Partnership was all about and everything. And for the many years that Joe was the director of Growth Partnership, he did a fine job. He certainly tried to help Ashtabula County as best he can, and it's a tough situation as Mr. Anderson is finding out right now.
When he left the partnership, I had contact with Joe and heard about his work in other areas of the state of Ohio and in other states, and he brought that same passion there. He was committed to what he was doing, and he was committed to the folks that were really involved in what he was doing. And Joe had a strong personality, and he was able to use that to the benefit of the project when it required it, but he could also slip into the background and just encourage people to to do their job and to bring to the table what they had to offer. One of the things when we had frank discussions about projects was that when we were in the room, we could say anything we want to and talk about the project in terms of how it could be best run, or how it should be shaped, or what the next steps were to be taken. But there was a commitment there that once we left the room, we all kind of spoke with one voice about the project itself. And I think that was one of Joe's strengths, was his ability to look at a problem or look at a project differently than would be standard. There was no formula, there was no plan that you had to follow step by step, because every project was different. Joe understood that and was able to bring all of his knowledge, all of his experience together, and I thought he brought out the best in most of the people that he worked with.
Well, I was one of those fortunate people that had an opportunity to work with Joe Mayernick, both on the private side when I worked in manufacturing, and then on the government side when I got to be a county commissioner. And so I really had an opportunity to interact with him during the entire time he was with Growth Partnership. And as I think about some of the great things that he brought to the table, I mean, he recognized early on that we needed to have a unified voice, if you will, to be able to speak to economic development issues, because for those people who will remember at the time, we were having facility after facility close down or relocate, and there really wasn't a mechanism to bring the resources of the area together to try to go ahead and to keep them there. He also recognized that job retention and growth was an easier prospect to do than going out and recruiting brand new facilities, because he understood that the world was changing, and that you weren't competing just anymore with the people in the next town or the next county or the next state over, that now the competition was on an international basis. But having said that, he was also very successful in recruiting companies to our area from outside the area, assisting all of us in helping to bring them here, get established and get a foothold. And not only was he successful in doing that domestically, but I would cite the example of Plaspro out in Saybrook, that he was also very successful in helping us to bring international businesses from outside the country into the area also.
Obviously, I didn't have a chance to know Joe like some of the other people here in the community. When I came here to the Growth Partnership, I knew that Joe was very, very well respected in the economic development community, and definitely had a great reputation and perception as a deal maker. And having had a chance to work with Joe on a couple of projects that he was still working on some companies with, and just learning more and more about the different companies and projects that had gone on and successfully been completed during Joe's 20 years. I mean, that perception was definitely reality. I don't think enough can be said for Joe in regards to the way that he was really able to structure and put together some deals that a lot of people or others wouldn't have been able to do, or said wouldn't have been possible. I think it says a lot for him and for the staff that he had here over the years, and the commitment by this organization to really really focus on job creation and job retention here in the county. I think moving forward, from what I've seen, Joe was also, it was under his leadership that we really, as a county, became more engaged in a lot of the regional conversations going on throughout Northeast Ohio with Team NEO and a variety of other regional organizations. And I think that was a very forward-thinking, very positive move, something that we've tried to certainly build on during my time here, and was certainly, again, very forward-thinking, and certainly is more the direction that economic development is going to head in the future.
I think that the recruitment, the courting and getting the Walter and Sherry Wing from who essentially are the two of the principals in Class Pro are here. I mean, the work that he did to help with the advancement of Millennium, of many of our existing institutions and companies, people like Worthington Cylinders, into the Jefferson area, and all of the work that he did with the existing industries. And then, he really helped to move Growth Partnership beyond just manufacturing to bring in the educational components, the healthcare industry in the county, and to sort of broaden the footprint, if you will, of the work that they did. And there were a lot of people who got great training working for Joe. Alicia McFarland, who worked for the city of Ashtabula, she was an employee there. Our own county administrator, Janet Disher, she was a former employee there. So besides helping to build companies and keep companies here, attract some new companies, he did a heck of a lot with respect to development of the people that work for him, enabling them to go on to bigger and better careers.
Upon his retirement from Growth Partnership in June 2010, Mayernick said, quote, "I leave this position knowing that Growth Partnership has had a positive impact on Ashtabula County. Companies have moved here, companies have expanded here, and people are working in this county because of our efforts. Those elements make me realize we have had success, and we have demonstrated time and again that working together can affect positive change."